Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, welcome down to the Snetterton Assembly area. It's almost time to hear the roar of the BCV8. Oh, I'm excited for this one. Somebody else who's very, very excited for this one. It's Mr. Paul Walsh. Here he is, Paul. This is going to get loud, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I can't wait for it, in all honesty.
Now, you're going to go chat to the drivers very shortly. Just a quick reminder, if you're watching this, it's an interactive show, so please do get in contact with us. We can see your comments. There is a link in the body of this broadcast where it says live chat is open. That takes you straight through to our YouTube channel, Live Sport Now, where you can watch this broadcast and you can comment. And if you do comment, guess what? We can even put it on screen as well. So if you want to shout out live, make sure you comment over there. Do hit subscribe whilst you're as well to watch Motorsport live and free. Really helps us out. Doesn't cost you a penny to be here. It's almost as if you're here with us right here at Snetterton Assembly. Right, I'm going to shut up now because you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from this man and the drivers. Paul, you're going to go chat to some of them.
Oh, indeed. And well, with all the assembly area here absolutely packed, some drivers out the cars being very patient at the moment. We start off with a lovely 93 of Russell McCarthy. He's not in the car, but we're just going to see him grab a word with Russell. And indeed, we're looking for a Russell McCarthy here. Russell, you got time for a quick word before you go racing? So, lovely looking car here, a lovely day at Snetterton. And well, how are you feeling for the first race of the day?
Reasonably confident. I've literally just come out from racing in this race a minute ago. So I'm up to speed, as it were. Just hopefully the car will stay together. I had to put another gearbox in it between practice and the race, so that will be a trip into the unknown, because I'm not sure how this one handles. So we'll just see how we get on.
Well, it's a new gearbox in the car, of course. It does mean, well, I've been hearing from a number of drivers this morning about reliability being a concern on the minds of drivers. Just take us through for the viewers at home. What's it like running one of these cars in terms of those reliability concerns?
Well, you're dealing with a car that's 50 years old, and you're using a lot of those parts that were made in the day, so they are pretty. They're not well engineered for today's demands, really. But I use standard half shafts on this because it just gives you a little bit more flexibility sometimes. But yeah, it's what it is, you know.
All true, but still, with it being what it is, going racing, then what can we expect from yourself in this first race of the day? What, with it being a back-to-back double effective with a small break in between?
Yeah, well, I just need to keep James and Neil honest. I'm not after winning the race. I just want to finish the race so far, but if I win, it's a bonus.
Oh, indeed. Well, all the best of luck with that, and we'll see you at the checkered flag.
Thanks a lot.
So hearing there from Russell McCarthy, and well, talking about a little bit about reliability and whatnot. Yep, we'll catch up with James here. How's it going, James? You ready for today?
Yeah, I think we're ready. It's the car's just had loads of little niggles with it for a little while now. Since Silverstone, really, it's just not been the same car that I had at the beginning of the season. So we've found a few things between qualifying and now. So see how we go. See if we can stick with this man.
Oh, indeed, and well, it's going to be a great battle between the two of you out on the circuit there. And, of course, we've seen a lot of MG racing action this weekend, but there's nothing quite compares to the MGBs, the MGCs, and that all-important V8 grunt.
Yeah, they sound amazing, don't they, as well? So we'll try and put on a show, and me and Russell had some good races in the past. So if my car's good, we'll be battling.
Oh, we look forward to that. And just some thoughts in regards to the pace difference of the classes around here. Some of the cars, such as Class D, being on average 10 seconds faster than, say, classes B and C. Does that play into a sort of traffic scenario later in the race, do you feel?
Yeah, on some circuits, yes. On this one, I'm a little bit luckier because it's the 300 circuit. It's a long old lap. We will catch some of the sort of the AB class, maybe the back of the B class. But yeah, traffic's not so much of an issue around here. But some of the other tracks, yeah, you can really play into the race. Really play into it.
Well, with that, we wish you all the best for today. Good luck in the race.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, indeed, so as we let our driver there go, and now we've got the number 86 driver there. He's looking quite composed, the number 86. So we're going to try and get a quick word, if we can, with Neil Fowler. Neil, have you got time for a quick word? Well, if you have, and look in yourself, get yourself all set in there. How are you feeling going into the race?
I can't actually hear a thing you've just said.
How are you feeling going into the race?
I had a really, really bad quali, so I'm not that confident today.
Well, qualifying may have been difficult and confidence might not be at its highest, but still 2 races with a small break in between them, so plenty of time to build up that confidence.
Oh, yeah. The car was just not handling right this morning in quali, so I've made a few changes and hopefully it'll be better in the race.
Well, fingers crossed that'll be the recipe for success, but with that, we'll leave you to it. Good luck in the race.
Thank you very much.
So speaking quickly there to Neil Fowler. So what we're going to do is just squeeze on through. And we're going to try and see if we can grab a word with our number 68 driver here as they're getting themselves set. Well, as we just squeeze on in, have you got time for a quick word? So how are you feeling going into the race?
Yeah, it's good. Good, yeah, no problem. I've got a different class car next to me, and then my class starts. So, but we were really all slow this morning, so I'm expecting them to catch me pretty quick. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, indeed, and just a quick word on the classes, of course, multiple classes here, all racing for their own championships, all different levels of pace as well. Must make it thrilling, but also you've got to be on your toes in terms of who's in the class you want to battle versus the classes perhaps you want to let go.
Yeah, I mean, you know the cars you're racing, you know the people, so you kind of get into your own class throughout the race and then kind of stay in them battles. So, but yeah, you know the faster ones because they go, and then the slower ones drop behind. So, so yeah, it'd be good fun.
We wish you all the best in the race. Good luck. So here and there from one of my drivers in the number 68. And, well, we're going to just carry on through here. Looks like they're a bit busy with the number 41, so we'll leave them for the time being. We are going to try and catch up with the beautiful number 57 here, being piloted, I do believe, today by Johnny Wheeler, unless I'm very much mistaken. No, I've got the names wrong there. I'll take the second one. Let's Ben Tovey. Yeah. There we go. Got it right on the second time of asking. Ben, how are you feeling going into the race? What, the circuit falling silent? We're not far away from going green flag.
Yeah, it should be good fun. It's quite close between all of us, so I think you're going to see some great racing between the C class. And Babak sneaked his B class up here and Paul's to my right, so I think it's going to be some really close racing. So looking forward to it. It seems to have been a really long day. We seem to have been waiting around a long day to get racing, so it's all good, all good.
Oh, indeed. And speaking of that long day, of course, now you've got races 1 and 2 today, pretty much back-to-back with, albeit a 30-minute break. Does that change the way you approach the racing?
No, not really. It just makes it a real rush between. So it'll literally be straight up to the motorhome, throw fuel in it, check everything's okay, check the wheel nuts are tight, check everything's okay under the bonnet, and then back out. So it just makes it a bit frenetic. So not ideal. If there's anything wrong with your car, that's it. You're out, really. So, fingers crossed.
We have our fingers crossed for you. Nothing falls off and you're able to make both races at full tilt and full pace. But with that, the best of luck for the race.
Thank you. Yeah, take care, guys.
Well, thank you very much there to Ben Tovey. And, well, we're going to start now making our way on up to our vantage point. I'm going to hand it back to Ian. Here's all set and ready.
Paul, thank you so much for doing that. What a job you do, by the way. You make my life so much easier. I really appreciate it. But I did actually just have a quick chat with James Wheeler off camera as well, and he did have a bit of a bump up at Silverstone. We were there, caught the incident he had up there, and he did say ever since then, the car just hasn't quite felt right. Saying all the data says it is, but it says it's looking like it's had a season's full of racing as well. And, yeah, very good stuff. Now, we're going to go through the grid for you very shortly. Before we do that, we're just going to make our way up to Agostini, where you're going to see the action with us as if you're right here at Snetterton in the actual quite windy conditions. No rain yet, though, I'm pleased to say. If you haven't come across the BCV8 Championship before, where have you been? But if you want to have a little closer look, here's a little video all about the BCV8 Championship. Roll VT. So there you go, that's a look at the BCV8 Championship. On your screen right now is the results from qualifying earlier this morning. Confirmation, of course, we just heard from Russell McCarthy, haven't we? James Wheeler and Neil Fowler in the Class D cars. I'll tell you something, if you are experiencing the BCV8s for the first time, my recommendation is to turn the volume up. Very loud indeed. If you like the roar of V8s, you are not going to be disappointed with this one. Moving a bit further down, of course, we've got Andrew Young, Babak Farzian, Benjamin Tovey, Paul Eales, Ken Demo. We heard from him earlier too as well. Ollie Wardle, Steve Wells, Johnny Wheeler. That is James Wheeler's father, of course. We've got Simon Cripps, David Strike. Is he going to strike for victory today, Paul? What do we think? Perhaps so. We've got Sean Holmes, Steve McKee, unfortunately not in this race, had that incident in qualifying. Chris Greenwood, a little bit concerned about reliability for him. James Walpole, Mark Scott, Paul Infield and Neil Cawthorne. This is going to be a cracker, Paul.
Oh, indeed, 100% it will be in as we all get set and ready. Drivers now out on the grid, as I understand it. And, well, we've made our way to our vantage point here, of course, overlooking the wonderful Agostini hairpin at turn number 4. Sun shining at the moment. We've still got a bit of cloud, but the good news, folks, is we're not going to be having any rain today by the looks of things. The original rain forecast has moved off. We've still got a lot of clouds, so we can't rule it out. We're not weathermen or fortune tellers at the end of the day. We're just here in the Conte booth doing what we can with the action that's about to get underway. And we're absolutely all set in. It's going to be a cracker, and like my colleague said, turn up your speakers, ladies and gentlemen, because you want to hear those V8 engines roar.
Oh, yeah, you do. Honestly, you really, really do. Don't forget, if you've got a friend or family member driving here today, please show them a bit of support in the comment section wherever you're watching. It is going to make a spectacle. Probably the loudest cars here. We just had the Snetterton saloons out. They were pretty loud as well, weren't they? I mean, what a weekend we have had here at Snetterton. What a way for the MGCC to, shall I say it politely, bow out. Shall we say, bow out. For those of you not aware, of course, the MGCC will not be running motorsport events going forward. But don't you worry, the MG Trophy, the MG Cup, the BCV8s, the Cockshoot Cup, they will be back in 2024. And who knows, you may even be able to watch them live with us as well as the cars make their way out on their formation lap. And I wonder how they're feeling right now in those Class D cars.
Oh, indeed, I'm with you on that, Ian. I think right now everyone will be feeling as though they're going into a bit of an unknown. And, of course, we heard from a couple of drivers saying about the wait between qualifying and then going racing. It's been a long wait. It's been the best part of 4 hours, practically. In fact, I'd say 5 hours now. And, well, that always does unsettle the nerves. I mean, some drivers will be thinking right now, you know, it's just another day in the office. But I wonder if everyone behind the scenes is thinking, OK, Carl's just got to hold together and make sure at the end of the day, get it through race 1, because the second race is only about 30 or 45 minutes afterwards. And once they all make their way down towards Agostini at the moment, all cars look A-OK. We've had them all pull off thus far. We're not hearing anything to the contrary. I mean, everyone here just tiptoeing into the unknown. And remember, this is not the season finale. We've got another round at Silverstone coming up after today in a month's time. But definitely as we're towards the tail end of the season, nobody wants their car to give up come the end of the season, because they all want to be there to the final checkered flag.
Very well said indeed, Paul. Just a quick reminder then of your classes as well. Of course, Russell McCarthy on outright pole overall, also pole in Class D. Andrew Young is on pole position in Class C. Babak Farzian on pole position in Class B, and David Strike on pole position in the A-B class. We do have a couple of invitational drivers as well. Sean Holmes lines up in 14th, and Neil Cawthorne lines up in 20th. Now, actually, you make a very good point about qualifying. 9 o'clock this morning, qualifying got underway. Not only that, they had to contend with a red flag, which delayed things another 15 minutes or so after they'd only put 2 or laps in or so. So it's been an interrupted day for the BCV8s, hasn't it, Paul?
Oh, indeed it has. And with limited qualifying time, it does mean, and also limited practice time for all the drivers. Therefore, they are really stepping into the unknown here as they all make their way down the second half of this formation lap now. Lovely scene of them all going line astern here down in towards what will be at Brundle into Nelson. Albeit this time it's line astern, but next time we could be seeing a few 2 wides. And a quick note, if you're looking out for the number 10 being piloted by Mark Scott, I do believe this is his first time racing in this season's day, or at least racing at Snetterton. And what he was saying to me earlier on today is that whilst this car lacks a lot of punch on the straights, it's definitely got it in the corners. So I think he's going to be very good in the infield section. And well, if you're a Mark Scott fan, you could be looking forward to some great overtakes being laid up by him.
Well, I think the technical term is the wiggly bits in the middle. So Russell McCarthy leading, of course, everybody around. He's going very, very slow, actually, isn't he, at the minute, on the way around. He's got James Wheeler just behind him for company, just not quite feeling quite right in that car at the minute. Neil Fowler, we know he is lightning fast. If he can get that car to the finish, he's going to be right at the sharp end. Of course, reliability over the last few years, we've covered the BCV8s for a few years now, reliability for Neil Fowler has been a bit of a problem, to be honest with you, Paul, and he'll be the first to admit that as well. But yeah, we are almost about to get going here. So a quick reminder, McCarthy on pole, Wheeler is second, that's James Wheeler, Fowler in third, then Andrew Young, then Farsi and Tovey, Eels, Deemer, Wardle, Wells, then Johnny Wheeler, then Cripps, Strike, Holmes, no McKee in this one, Greenwood, Walpole, Scott, Linfield, Cawthorne. So there are 19 runners and riders for race one. Still, it's crazy to say, there's still another race to come later here in the BCV8 Championship, the final race of the day. So qualifying, then a huge gap, then a race, then a quick turnaround, and back out again. I mean, what has James Wheeler done to upset everybody here at Snetterton? Paul.
Oh, goodness me, I'm not quite sure right now, but we are only, well, everyone's on the grid currently, so we are going to be awaiting the light sequence any moment now. And, well, the racing gods will be hopefully on the side of many of the drivers. That's what we'll be hoping for. And indeed a slow formation, everyone creeping the way on around, and we're just going to that standing start as well before we get ready to hear the roar of those V8s in. Goodness me, I can't wait, we're only seconds out.
We are only second out. I think last time out at Cadwell Park it was the James Wheeler and Neil Fowler show, wasn't it, in Class D? Russell McCarthy has decided to crash that party here at Snetterton on the 300. I'll tell you something, I get goosebumps here. The hairs are going up on the back of my neck. If you're watching this, tell us, how are you feeling ahead of this one? Are you excited for it? It sounds like we're underway here. The opening lap of the BCV8 Championship here at Snetterton. It's go, go, go. I can see. Let's hope they all get round corner one. Okay, I can just see the top of their roofs as they're coming around. They actually sit quite low, these cars, don't they? These BCV8s, MGBs, MGCs. They are absolutely remarkable. And a bit of a feature on the D-Class cars is the bonnet, the bulge in the bonnet to help with cooling the engine down and the airflow. They can be quite temperamental, these cars, so reliability, Paul, is going to be key. And it does look like Russell McCarthy, or is it James Wheeler? Let's have a look, because it's a different colour yellow. And I think it's James Wheeler has the lead from Neil Fowler. McCarthy's dropped back, Paul.
Oh, indeed. I think you're right there, in as they make their way now into heavy braking zone for turn number 4. Coming on down here, leaders line and stern, but meanwhile behind we've got a battle playing out for P4, albeit that's number 68 holding the outside, 79 falling back then to the clutch of the 51 as they make the way on through. And well, there it is, the battle on between Farsian and what is there, Tovey, as they make the way on through, going up towards Hamilton Corner now. But everyone's still trying to contend the positions as they make the way in towards the Oggies Corner at turn number 6. But now we're going to start to see everybody tuck in for a brief moment, albeit you can already start to see the more powerful engines on the circuit starting to break away at the front of the field. But as they roar the way on down the Bentley Straight for the first time, it's open up the taps now, and here comes the engines roaring the way on down. And as they do, we do have our number 1 car there of Wheeler, who does lead, making his way on through the shot, but then making the way in towards the Brundle into Nelson at braking zone here. Have we got any potential moves? We've got a bit of a side-by-side there between the 61 and the 72. 61 going in very hot, and that's in the hands of Deemer there, looking for the move on Eels as well as they head into the braking zone. They're going to be side-by-side going into Nelson, but elsewhere behind, everyone else right now on formation as they make the way on round, albeit heading in towards what is Bombhole Corner here. And as they come through, well, with the fact these cars cast such a low silhouette in, well, it's side by side there, but not quite sure who, as we've got, I think it's going to be a 2x2 coming all the way round to the final corner.
Oh, this is a thriller, isn't it? I actually thought James Wheeler kicked up a bit of dust coming through the final corner, but it doesn't really seem to have affected him too much. I think that's Johnny Wheeler actually going toe-to-toe with Deemer. We'll find out very shortly, but they are now coming over the line in confirmation. James Wheeler is your leader. The 2:18.707, can't really read anything into that on lap 1, but Wheeler leads from Fowler. McCarthy, something must have happened at the start. He must have got bogged down. He's starting on pole. He's now in 3rd. Young is in 4th and still your leader in Class C. Then it's Wardle, then Ken Deemer, and Johnny Wheeler for company. Quite easy to spot because it's red versus yellow. And thank you as well to James Wheeler. Charles was just saying, thank goodness that James has actually got that red sort of front spoiler down there, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to identify. Although when he did come down the Bentley Straight, that car just didn't quite sound right. However, he's opening up quite a lead on Neil Fowler, so what do I know?
Oh, indeed, as he makes his way to turn number 4, he's trying to make as much progress as possible, as soon as possible. It's Wheeler, as he does have number 86 of Fowler being caught up at more than 93 of McCarthy as they make their way through. Meanwhile, further back, we've got a bit of a side-by-side brewing here between what is, I believe, that is Johnny Wheeler and none other than Ken making up his way at the inside, and number 81, that being Ken Deemer, as they make the way on through. Coming out, also got a bit of side-by-side coming out of the corner there, and I believe that might be between Cripps and Eels as they come in towards the next braking zone. Well, as they charge their way through Hamilton, I think it is going to be the red machine that does hold on for the time being. And then right at the back of the field, we've got a little bit of a mini battle kicking off between none other than Walpole and Linfield as they come through. Number 14 keeps the 15 at bay, coming through the corners for now. But as they make their way down towards the Bentley Straight this time, well, they'll start to build up a bit more speed here. Battles will continue all the way through to the second half of the lap. And well, speaking of battles carrying the way down on the Bentley Straight here, well, a bit more side-by-side starting to play out as they make their way on past us. And that's the number 57. They're trying to push its way up the inside of the 72. Side-by-side on the brake, and 72 goes on the brakes a little bit earlier by comparison. And that would be Wells there, just not quite able to outbrake Tovey. Ben Tovey feeling very confident in the car, it would seem, and getting those anchors on nice and late. They're still side-by-side coming out, and Nelson, those two are going at it like crazy at the moment as they make their way on around through Baumholt. And I think Tovey may have just been able to creep ahead. Indeed, he has got ahead there. Nice defence from Tovey, making the move count there as he's made his way into Coram.
Well, great stuff. Thank you for calling now. Well, let's give everybody an update on where things stand in the classes. As we know, James Wheeler, the overall leader in this race, although Russell McCarthy is starting to find his legs again. He's just done a 2:10.992, 2/10 of a second faster than James Wheeler. So he's starting to stretch his legs a bit now. He's Russell McCarthy. Anything can happen in this one. As we know, reliability is key. We've got 15 minutes of this race to go. Still a long, long, long way to go. But Wheeler leads overall and in Class D. Young is still your Class C leader, 4th on track. We have Eels as your Class B leader, and we've got Strike as your AB leader. Somebody's pointing something to me, Paul.
Well, indeed, it looks as though we've had a swap for position in the battle for P2. Fowler now ahead of McCarthy as they make their way down to the braking zone here. Move being made, but now here comes a return from Fowler as he looks up the inside. On the brakes they go here, and the 93 holds that outside line. Well done to McCarthy to holding on for now, but definitely the pressure is on. This is just enabling Wheeler to break away at the very front of the field. Meanwhile, as the rest of the field get ready to make their way into Agostini as well. Well, now, how about this? They come down hard on the brakes. Well, it's still going to be a Young holding off what is their Wardle, but then we do have number 81 in the hands of Deemer. Well, under a bit of pressure, he has had what is the number 57 now. Tovey fall back a little bit, albeit we say that now. Tovey trying to look for the move on Wells once again as they head into Hamilton corner. So very back and forth here. And for those curious, by the way, when we talk about the Class D cars being very strong as they make the way and pass us down the Bentley Straight, these guys packing in excess of 400 horsepower, the Class Ds, compared to the 200 to 250 of the rest of the field. So that's why they're pulling such a staggering lead there. And, well, Fowler still ahead of McCarthy as they make the way on through. And as the rest of the field begins to play catch up, with the top three are running away with their own battle, and still more to come from behind them, Ian.
Oh, yeah, more to come indeed. Battles going on all throughout the field, even further back as well. Johnny Wheeler gained on that last lap. He got past Ken Deemer, as we saw. Wells got past Tovey. He got back past Tovey, actually, because Tovey did get past Wells. So at some point, Wells has got back past Tovey. We saw that on the last lap. Eels has made up a place as well. He's got past Babak Farzian. Now, that really matters as well, because Eels is now your Class B leader. So he's got past Farzian, who started on pole in Class B. So we have a change in Class B. Strike is still your AB leader. So it looks like this. We've got James Wheeler, then McCarthy, then Fowler, then Young, Wardle, then Johnny Wheeler, then Deemer, Wells, Tovey, Eels, Farzian, Cripps, Greenwood, Holmes, Strike, Linfield, Walpole. No Scott and no Cawthorne, both out of this race. Of course, Scott in the AB class and Cawthorne in the invitation class. Right, so I'm trying to see where the action's coming right now. I can see your leader. I wonder if Russell McCarthy has got the legs to catch James Wheeler up in this one. He's got past Fowler, as we saw on that last lap, and he's just managed to put half a second or so ahead of him.
Oh, indeed, and just on that, we have had a new fastest lap from McCarthy at 209.728. So right now, starting to open up the legs on the car. Indeed, the first driver to break into the 209 since this race started. The rest of the lead group here staying in the 210s as they make their way through. But as we say, that number 86 there of what is Fowler inching closer. Oh, it goes very wide. I think they're getting a little bit too eager with the throttle pedal, perhaps, as he almost went to the grass coming out of Agostini, but still catch the car just in time. Good catch there. And meanwhile, as the rest of the field now start to make the way down towards Agostini, Agostini. When P4, that is Young leading Class C as they head on down to the braking zone. And Young right now seems to be quite in control of this race. Meanwhile, the battle for P3 in the C class, we could see there, that was Dima in the number 81, having to defend quite well. And Ken was saying to me earlier on today, in the fact he's had a great first season in this series. And right now, he's definitely demonstrating why he's done a great season. A car off there coming out of Agostini. That would be the car, I do believe, of what is, I think that might have been Cripps taking a bit of a run to the grass, unless I'm very much mistaken. But very easy to get it wrong here, Ian.
Well, very easy in these cars as well, the amount of power that they're packing. Yeah, just a quick note as well, Ken Deemer getting back past Johnny Wheeler now as well. Those two swapping places. Oh, this is so much fun, isn't it? It really is. They're coming down to Bentley Straight now, as we can see. So keep an eye on that battle between Ken Deemer and Johnny Wheeler. It's like this one is going to go all the way, but they've got a little bit of company as well. Look at this coming through. The number 72, that's Wells. He fancies it, and he's got himself past Johnny Wheeler, and he's right up to the back now of Ken Deemer. Oh, my word. This is super exciting. Russell McCarthy is flying. Just a note there as well, he took a second out of James Wheeler on the lap before, so who knows. He's only 1.5 seconds behind. He's just gone faster again, has Russell McCarthy. He's done a 2:09.723, and I tell you something, that is 1.5 seconds faster than James Wheeler. The gap is down to 1.5 seconds, so by that reckoning, at the end of this lap, they should literally be level.
Oh, indeed. I think you're right there, Ian. As Azora tries to make the way into the final corner for what is there the fourth time of asking as they come on around here. We'll come back to that point about Ken Deemer right now. I think he'll be looking in his rearview mirror and hoping that the drivers behind him, but certainly what is Wheeler and Wells continue to fight. He'll probably be saying, keep it up, boys, and I can just break away and take this position. But as we look to the leaders here, well, definitely you're right there, Ian. Wheeler being caught up in Class D by a rapid rate of knots. The 93 and the 86 of what is our drivers there, and catching up quite rapidly. And, well, could Wheeler potentially have a problem?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be the heat sink, it might be the tyres or something. And Charles makes a very good point, actually, just off to our right. Because of the tow, they've brought Neil Fowler along with them as well, so it's going to close them all up. He also makes another very good point, and I think I said it off camera a little bit earlier, that traffic might come into play. We've still got 10 minutes, we're only halfway through this race. They are going to catch up to some back markers. Now, it's not like Monaco with Formula One. However, you never know, it could just give you that little edge. If you're going into one of the corners here and there's a back marker in front, things could get a bit unpredictable, can't they, Paul?
Oh, indeed, because there it becomes about managing the traffic to your own advantage, but at the same time as well, trying to find the right opportunity to jump in front as the leaders make the way there underneath what was the run through Brundle into Nelson. We're looking back here to further down the order, and that gives you an idea of the gulf in the field in terms of those relative facts of cars right now. And our point about the fact we're going to see the leaders potentially catch up to the back of the field towards the end of this race, and we're in for a cracker right there. But meanwhile, as we do continue to watch the battle for P4 downwards overall, being led by Young, charging his way down the Bentley Straight, looking in control of this one at the moment. Young definitely measuring this race, and then, well, further behind there, Young ahead of what is the car of Wardle, then Wells, and, well, we still have that ongoing battle between the 57 and the 61 as they make the way on down, and still a little bit further on down the order. Let's not forget about our drives towards the back of the field. We've got Strike and Greenwood there also fighting, and, well, the number 9 of what is there, Strike, making its way on. But Ian, some thoughts on yourself?
Yeah, that could be quite important actually as well, because David Strike was Class AB leader, so we might have a change of class here. What a shame that is. Just a reminder, we've lost Scott and Cawthorne from this race. They didn't even start, so bit of a shame to get things going, but we still have 17 runners and riders here. I just think David Strike might have got a little bit out of sorts up by Oggies as well. But here come the leading trio now. It's led me in perfect, and Neil Fowler's got his lights on. He means business, doesn't he, as they come down into Agostini. Neil Fowler's going to try and get on the brake so late, but McCarthy manages to keep him at bay. Something I've noticed as well is how later Neil Fowler does brake into Agostini compared to McCarthy.
Oh, indeed, and that ability to brake later gives him so much more confidence. We do see a couple of lockups there from Fowler making his way through Agostini, and also Hamilton, the tiniest lockups on that front left brake. He's going to need to watch that, because well, he can go as late as he dares to dream to do so, but at the same time, he continues those lockups. That brake is not going to give him the stopping power that he would hope for, and therefore it could leave him vulnerable to a mistake. But as they make the way now on towards the Bentley Straight, this top three still nose to tail. There's not even a second between the trio. This is what we love to see here as they make the way on down, and right now it is going to be a game of chicken on the brakes between the number 1 and the 93 as they make their way through. The 93 going around the outside. McCarthy trying to get it done. He's going to shut the door going in to Brundle, and that's the lead. It's exchange hands, and what a move, Ian.
Well, what a race Russell McCarthy's having. Don't forget he started on pole. It must have got bogged down or something at the start. Dropped down to third. Quite a way back but he's managed to pull it in. Just a quick note, Neil Fowler, though, last time out was the fastest man, a 2:08.389. So as you can see, James Wheeler seems to be going a little bit slower than he would like, and Neil Fowler is now fancying wheeling past James Wheeler. See what we did there, look. Do get your comments coming in. What have you made of this race so far? It has been an absolute corker out there. A couple of changes last time. Johnny Wheeler as well, James's father, got past Tovey on that last lap. So a lot going on throughout the midfield as well. A quick update. McCarthy leads overall and Class D. Young is still your Class C leader. He's led the entire race in Class C so far. Eels is your Class B leader. And Walpole is now your A-B leader. A battle going on between Eels and Farsian. Is it Farsian? It is Farsian. Now that is important because that is for Class B honours, so that matters as well. That's for the class win, those two. Wow, Eels and Farsian, toe to toe, Paul.
Oh, indeed, we'll catch him just at the right time, battling side by side, going down into the latter half of the lap. And as I drive make the way on through Corem now, we'll definitely every up to speed here. We're seeing those lap times absolutely tumble. But meanwhile, back towards the leaders here with some traffic to negotiate as well. Hard on the brakes here, and it's going to be very close between the 86 and the 1. You can see right now McCarthy, whilst he may be leading, he's not breaking away. And these three all making the way on through the traffic, albeit right now to respect the fact that everyone's trying to race a victory here. But my goodness, that could have been a heart in mouth moment indeed. I think Ian here might have just had his heart in mouth watching that play out.
I almost swallowed my tongue there. That was James Walpole. I thought he was just going to completely get out of the way, but he always say, no, I'm going to stay here. And they're all through, and it does look like James Wheeler might have found a little bit of pace again, although now Neil Fowler's got a run on him as they head down into the Bentley Straight. Let's keep our eyes on this one. Is this going to allow Russell McCarthy perhaps just to extend his lead a little bit? Fowler does go through as well to take second place. So Neil Fowler up to second, James Wheeler drops to third.
Oh, indeed, and Wheeler now falling on down the order there, but perhaps this is him just building up for a crescendo in the final, because we still do have 5 minutes on the clock plus the final lap, so it's not over yet. And that top three have shown time and time again they can run incredibly close. Nobody's perturbed by the fact they'll run within a second of one another, and therefore the pressure stays on. But meanwhile, battles going on into Agostini as well. We have just had a change of position on further down the order. Number 12 of Ills, I think, there making its way ahead of Tovey and also Farsian, so they're all fighting hard. That happening off camera, but right now so much action left, right and centre. I can feel for our cameraman Leon at the moment in the fact that having to try and find out where all the action's occurring. But goodness, big car off there coming out of Hamilton, and that is Ben Tovey taking a bit of a rallycross line as he rejoins going into Oggies there, able to bring the car back into control, but definitely that is going to unsettle the car to a degree as he makes his way on through. Well, as he heads out towards Williams, he'll look to try and get the dirt off the tyres and get himself back up to speed, but still just in front of him there. We do have a bit of a nose-to-tail chase going on between what is, I do believe, the number 41 and the number 46. So that is the battle between Farsian and Cripps there.
Yeah, just a note as well, I think. What a shame. This is Eels has got a problem. So he was leader of Class B. He's got a problem. He's got his arm out. What a shame that is. So your Class B, he was leading this race in class. Looks like he's going to be out of the race. Blue flag's being waved. Neil Fowler trying to go up the inside of Russell McCarthy. Shuts the door. James Wheeler's going to take a wide line through Agostini, maybe to kick on and get a better run as they head round the wiggly bits here at Snetterton. David Strike's still going around, I'm pleased to see as well, in the AB class. We've still got just over 3.5 minutes of this race to go. So it's McCarthy who leads from Fowler, from James Wheeler, from Young, from Wardle, from Deemer, then Johnny Wheeler, then Tovey, Eels, Farsi and Cripps, Wells, Holmes, Greenwood, Strike, Walpole, Linfield. Although we must say Eels hasn't updated the TSO yet. He is trundling around, going slowly, and I think he will be pulling into the pits. And it looks like we're going to lose Eels from this race, Paul.
Oh, indeed, and it'll be unfortunate if that does occur. And just a quick thought on the AB class. Keep in mind that it's James Walpole ahead. We'll come back to that thought very shortly as we see our top three making their way down into Brundle, into Nelson there. McCarthy under increasing pressure from Fowler now. Wheeler just watching in the wings. But then coming back to the thought on the AB class, keeping in mind, of course, going into today, Walpole was ahead of Strike by 13 points. Well, right now, if Strike takes the win here, he's going to really level that playing field going into the second race today. Of course, that gap will come down a little bit, but that means there is going to be a bit of a championship contention there between them as we look to our drivers making the way in towards what is here the final corner coming through Murray's, and will still McCarthy holds on as they make way onto another lap. But meanwhile, Ian, getting very spicy down the field.
He's getting spicy everywhere. Right, get this. McCarthy, Fowler over the line last time. The gap was 0.011. So we are waiting to see him come round, and I have a sneaky feeling Neil Fowler might now be the leader of this race. We're going to see, I believe, very, very shortly. This is a cracker. 2 minutes left on the clock. So this will be the penultimate lap of the race. I'm just trying to see, actually, where they are. They're coming around a hairpin. Thank you very much, Charles. It's great to have myself and Paul Walsh here joining me on commentary, but we're taking it at turns, and Charles Boniface very kindly joined us to be a spotter for us as they come round now. Here we go. It's easy to see Neil Fowler because he's the only one with the headlights on. That makes it very easy for us. McCarthy still leads just from Fowler, though. James Wheeler just dropping back a little bit. I think we might get another lap in as well, actually. I think this might be the penultimate. We might squeeze one more lap out of this. I really hope we can, but McCarthy leads from Fowler, from James Wheeler, from Young, from Wardle, from Deemer, from Johnny Wheeler, from Fardsey and Cripps, Wells, Tovey, Holmes, Greenwood, Strike. Strike, still your AB leader, by the way. I thought he was going a bit slow. I thought he might have had an issue, but he hasn't. He's still going very well. Walpole, Linfield, and we've lost Eels from this race. So McCarthy, your overall leader in Class D. Young's your Class C leader. Fardsey's your Class B leader. And Strike is your AB leader.
Oh, indeed. And, well, with our drivers now making their way down the Bentley Straight, the D-Class leaders now coming into traffic here as they charged away on down. And, well, I think they're going to be able to negotiate, but Wheeler, however, losing out some significant time here. But still, McCarthy and Fowler in an absolute deadlock between the two of them as Wheeler does find his way on past in the end. But coming on down, you can see the difference that the approach has taken there. And the fact our top two now, well, they're only separated by about half a second. And then Wheeler a further second behind, so he's got some work to close up. And you're right, Ian, we're going to get another lap in here. We've still got 40 seconds to go, and they're almost at the end of the current lap.
Yeah, just a quick note, Sean Holmes in the invitation class, it looked like there was damage on that car as well. He's still going around, he's in 12th place at the minute, but yeah, it did look like there was quite a bit of damage on that car, so I'll keep an eye on him, see if he's going to pull into the pits or just keep going until the end. I'm just looking behind me as well, and we've got more battles going on into Agostini as well. We've got, that's Wardle and Deemer, I believe. Is it 79? Second place in C. So Wardle and Deemer going toe-to-toe there. And Young has just run away with Class C, really, to be honest. He qualified on pole in Class C, and he hasn't really been troubled at all in class. However, Deemer, Wheeler, Wardle, they're having some fantastic fights. I mean, we've got 3 seconds left on. They have made it over the line, haven't they? So we're now on the final lap of the race, Paul.
Oh, indeed, and with the last lap now, the pressure is only going to intensify as we continue to look at this ongoing battle at the front of the field, but also further on down the field. Everywhere you look, there's racing action here in the BCV8 Championship, and, well, looking at our leaders now as they make their way down, well, you can see there, McCarthy went on to this lap with 2/10 of a second advantage over Fowler. They come down to the braking zone, and well, that 2/10 is worth very little here in terms of just one tiny error. 1 miles an hour difference going onto the straight, and that could be it, as we see there. Almost a bit of a tank slapper from Fowler, the car coming loose slightly, and that shows you how hard he's pushing as they come down in towards now what will be Oggies very shortly. Wheeler watching him in the back in P3. I think he might be setting for that third place spot on the podium here, thinking out race number 2 ahead, because of course we've got another race coming up within roughly the hour, so therefore there's plenty more points to play for here. But meanwhile, McCarthy and Fowler, I think they're throwing caution to the wind here, Ian. All they're saying is, right, I want that win. It doesn't matter how many races are left.
Oh, these guys, they're proper racers. They are proper racers. This is what it means. They want that win. James Wheeler's clearly dropped her back a little bit. Maybe he's just thinking, you never know, they might take each other out in the final corner and they'll just slip through and take the win. Here we go. Russell McCarthy, Neil Fowler, last few corners here at Snetterton. Who is going to take the glory? Russell McCarthy, never he did start on pole position, got bogged down off the line, dropped down to 3rd place. He has worked a miracle to get himself back up into the lead. I wonder if it looks like he might just have enough of it. But Fowler's going to have to be super brave on the brakes if he's going to have a sniff of this. But I think, barring a mistake from McCarthy into Murray's, he's got this one done. They're going to come over the line, and it does look like McCarthy has just got his nose in front and will take the checkered flag from Neil Fowler. It has been a fascinating race. Been more action going on as well, by the way. Deemer and Wardle still going toe-to-toe. Confirmation that McCarthy has taken the checkered flag, and Deemer has got past Wardle, so Deemer's just ahead of Wardle. That matters as well, because that's for 2nd place in Class C. Oh, it's all going on. We're still with a final lap for most of the cars. But confirmation, Russell McCarthy has taken the checkered flag. He is the outright winner. He's the Class D winner. Fowler's come home in 2nd. James Wheeler in 3rd. But as unsurprisingly, there's quite a big gap to Young, who's going to come home in 4th and take the Class C honours.
Oh, indeed, and well, still racing on going here, of course, and therefore plenty of wheat your appetite here as we have Dima versus what is, I do believe, there. Wardle's still fighting on for that second place in the C class. They make their way down the Bentley Straight. This is phenomenal stuff between the two. They're glued together right now as they make their way down. He's going to move around the outside here, and that is going to be Dima trying to regain the place that he lost going into Williams, and he makes way around the outside to take the inside into now. So a bit of dust being kicked up there. Goodness me, they barely gave each other enough room for 2 wide, but they somehow managed to make it happen. They're still side by side as they come out of Nelson and they make their way into Bombhole Corner. We lose them for a brief moment because of the low silhouette, but one car is ahead of the other there. We're trying to discern which one it is, and I think that might be Dima just ahead. But meanwhile, as they make the way on around, we're going to have Young, who's in complete control of this race. He's going to come on through to take the win in the C class, their P4 overall in the MGC Roadster. But then the battle between Dima and Wardle, where it was pretty much neck and neck coming out of the final corner. And to give you an update on that, so as the checker flag waves for them, it will be Young who takes the Group C win ahead of what will be Dima, and Wardle just missing out in the end by 3/4 of a second. But goodness me, in absolutely close, as we then do have Farjan coming on through very shortly to take the B class win, and then Cripps will be taking the second place spot ahead of Wells in the C class, and Toby will be our last finisher.
Yeah, Toby's just taking a checkered flag as well, so that is now all of the drivers over the line. Let's pop TSL up on screen for you so you can see for yourself how things have finished. Just seen Russell McCarthy, Fowler and Wheel just going past us on the Bentley Straight with their arms aloft, and they've really put on a bit of a show here, haven't they? They are your results for you. I'll just go through the class winners for you. Congratulations, Russell McCarthy, outright winner and Class D winner. Andy Young taking the Class C win there. Babak Farsi and taking the Class B win, started on pole in Class B as well, and David Strike taking the A-B class title as well. Paul, your first experience of the BCV8, so you're not going to forget that one in a while, are you?
No, I'm not. I just, well, be honest with you, Ian, I'm starting to think to myself, when's race number 2? When's it going to happen? I'm sure ladies and gentlemen at home as well are all going to be thinking that as well, as we do see all the drivers making their way on down here into Agostini, and well, what a show they have put on, indeed. It's my first introduction to the BCV8, so I can tell you one thing, where have I been all my life? I have not seen this, and today I want more of it.
And where have you been, indeed? Well, I've got some good news for you, because there's still another race to come, and we only got to wait about an hour, so I bless everybody here, because it's a good job there's been no smashes or anything, because there'd be no time to fix a car, would there? Right, that's how things have finished here. We're going to go get ourselves off for a short break. When we come back in the next broadcast, it's a double header for you. How good is that? First up, the Cherish Rig Insurance MG Cup Race 2, and then we go straight into Race 2 for the BCV8 Championship. We'll see you soon.
We are skanking the rave. Run with coke, no champs in the rave. No matter the baseline drops, it's a virgin thing, no champs in the rave. Shot to the back, know what it is when I jump on the track. Shot to the back, know what it is when I jump on the London, New York, LA, Paris, Kingston, Harlem, Brooklyn, Atlanta, London, New York, LA, Paris, Kingston, Harlem, Public, oh, yes.
To win, sorry, to draw the game.